Hello to those of you who will be testing with the reNOVAte, Bruce Ray's reNOVAte demo version that I have installed on Oracle VM VirtualBox. Um, just wanted to go through how to start that up so that there isn't too much confusion. Um, just a little bit of introduction to Oracle VM VirtualBox. When you install it and start it, you should see something like this, except it wouldn't have any systems here yet. It should be empty of any systems. So I'm just going to go through the simplest way. I'm just going to go through the simplest way to launch this, and that is after downloading and unzipping these files here. Just to click on this one here with the blue box. I happen to be using Windows 7, so if you're using a different operating system, hopefully you'll understand whatever the equivalent is to this. But before I do that, I want to talk about this a little bit. This is the virtual hard drive. Now, it's actually an accidental installation of not one but two Windows XP operating systems on a partition drive. I'm sorry about that. Apologize for the confusion, but I really only had one shot to get the reNOVAte demo unlocked, so I had to keep the one that I had. So I apologize that this may waste 4 gigabytes plus of space, and it seems that this has a tendency to grow in size a little bit. So hopefully you're not going to be testing on a machine where you're very tight on space. And I also apologize for the long download, but hopefully the benefits outweigh some of these detractors. So we will just launch this. Hopefully the install has recognized the .vbox file as a valid VirtualBox file to launch. So I'll just do a double click here, and it actually should just launch the machine, and here it is. And there's a few messages at the top that give the status. Press any key to boot from CD. It's as if I've turned the machine on. Now, this is this dual boot system here, and I don't know what I did here, so again, I apologize for the confusion. Evidently, I've installed the same operating system twice. It's the second one. I apologize for the confusion, so you'll want to go to the second one, the lower Microsoft Windows XP Professional, and hit enter. I'm not that fluent in VirtualBox yet. I just kind of got something that worked and went with it. And it launches good old-fashioned Windows XP. Here's some messages up here that tell you a little bit about the configuration of this and how it interfaces with the user interface. I barely understand these things myself, but they seem to be fairly intuitive. Auto capture keyboard, and it supports mouse pointer integration. And so, to me, what this means is when the focus is in this window, then it's working. And when I have the mouse over this window, it's actually controlling the mouse in this computer. But if I have the mouse elsewhere around my computer, then I'm controlling things elsewhere. So again, I think this part is fairly intuitive. I turn the firewall off and automatic updates off because it's Windows XP. It's not supported by Microsoft. It'll still bug you every once in a while, and I apologize for that. Some more basics before we get to reNOVAte. I did install Google Chrome, just in case you want to get on the web. And by default, I set my website for our particular Microtech Point 4 iris restoration. And this is the page that I set as default in case that is helpful to anything that we're working on. It's not necessary, but it's available just in case you're interested in that. There is a feature to transfer files and clipboard back and forth from your real computer to this emulated one, or virtual one, I should say. We won't go into that right now. Maybe I'll throw that in another session. But here's the reNOVAte install with the unlocked demo version, and it runs in this reno_w32 folder, which is just on the desktop. I put it there for ease of use. These other things are things that I use to install it and get it working. So I'll leave them there, but you shouldn't need them. So the INI file is important. The reNOVAte.ini and the reNOVAte.vc files are important. So before I even launch reNOVAte, I'm going to open this up and let's look at this. I left these settings exactly the way they were the last time that I ran reNOVAte. So some changes will be needed here, but I didn't want to make them. I thought maybe you should make them because I want you to understand what it is that you're changing. So I think I will refer to Chrome here. Yes, I know there will be no updates because XP is not supported. Thank you. And I'm actually going to go back to an older post. I'm not sure. Let me think here for a second. This is the page on my site that I wanted to reference. Wild Hair's reNOVAte demo version 4.0b 0.06. This is where I've documented all of the settings and everything that I learned about this reNOVAte, and this is where we left these things. Now, I should point out that we actually got reNOVAte to run on device 027, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's in here somewhere. So please, before you get too frustrated or guess, you might want to review what I have here. And it's probably this video that's probably too long of me explaining everything I'm doing here, but in case any of this doesn't make sense, this video is me going through this current build or this current configuration of reNOVAte, both in the reNOVAte.ini and in the reNOVAte.vc files that I have on this VirtualBox Windows XP build. So let's see here if I can find the where I set the device to DKP to 027. I think you'd think you wouldn't forget something so quickly in a week, but my head's been so full of new information. It's been wonderful. Device option. Hang on, I won't make you watch me go through this. There it is. It's right here at the top. Device code equals 23. Decimal 23 equals octal 27. And so the parameters for reNOVAte, for the device code, you need to put in a decimal number, and then it assigns that to the octal equivalent. Now I'm going to show you exactly where that is. So if you want to change that, I think removing this line right here, DKP device code equals 23, turns DKP back to its default octal 33 position. So the presence of this line here puts it at octal 27. The absence of this line, puts it at 033. And now what did I screw up? Hang on. I'll open that back up again. There. It wasn't at the top of the INI file. It was in the middle. It just happened to be at the top of where I was looking at the time. To comment that out, just put the pound sign in front of that. Okay, I'm not going to go changing this just yet. I don't think. So I just wanted to show you that the VC file is also there. Oh, sure. Let's tell the VC file to open this thing in Notepad. Why not? And so these are some other things. These parameters for DKP might not be correct, so they might need to be changed. I remember I looked for hours a couple weekends ago, and I couldn't find what the parameter options were for setting DKP. So I don't know where this came from because it's not in the reNOVAte manual, nor is it in the help dump files that we put on this particular page. All of the help dump files are here below this section. So this is and I thought that the most authoritative thing, instead of it being the PDF manual, which seems to be for a different version and some syntax was different, we point that out. We point that out up here. the help dump files, or the dump text that we dumped into files and I put on this site, I think would make more sense to be the accurate syntax that this one would use, because it actually came from this version of that. So have a look through here if you have any question. And we did two different help text dumps. So I think this is group 2, the shorter one here, and group 1. And I go through some specifics about how I got that help dump and the syntax here. So I documented pretty much everything I learned about reNOVAte so far in this page. So hopefully you won't have to reinvent the wheel like I do. But I have a feeling you're a faster learner than I am with this stuff anyway. In fact, I know you are. But that's okay. I'm always appreciative. Very, very, very appreciative. I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to change reNOVAte.vc. And maybe I should. See, I put this in there. Load mem minicom disk utility.bin. I did put that in there. And so maybe I should take that out. Yeah, I'm going to take that out. Okay. So we'll minimize that. Let's actually launch reNOVAte.exe. And there it is, in all of its splendor, so to speak. I like to show device. Better yet, I like to show all, so that we can see what is connected to what. DKP is on octal 027 right there, so that's very important to realize. This should tell you what is mounted to it, I think. It doesn't tell you if anything is loaded into memory, but it does tell you what's there, what we've mounted to it. And I don't even know that mount is the correct term. It has its own syntax. Sorry, I'm so confused about this. I did that in the .vc file. So attach. Not mount. Attach. That's the correct syntax. Sorry about that. So I've taken load mem minicom disk utility.bin out. I'll just demonstrate going back to reNOVAte.ini. If I scroll halfway down here and go to remarking out this DKP device code equals 23, and I'll do a save here. I'm going to exit and quit and restart. reNOVAte.exe, there it is. Okay, and now we'll do show all devices. We'll see that DKP is on octal 33 now. Alright, and I figured out that the -Ds, those are disabled. So the CPU is actually disabled. I don't know why, and I don't get that. But this is an environment where you probably are going to play around and have a very good, better fundamental understanding of what's going on here, particularly because of your experience already in SimH. So we'll see if this option proves any better for you, and go from there. Let me see if I can figure out quickly how to transfer a file to this, from your host computer to the virtual computer. Stand by while I look that up for you. I think it's a parameter called setting up shared folders. In order to change that parameter, I'm actually going to shut down this machine. So I'll just do its usual shutdown and turn off. And this window, oh, I guess I'll just quit this normally, right? There we go. And this window should basically go away saying, hey, you powered off the machine, and then the window goes away. And then there's another console for VM VirtualBox. So if I just launch VM VirtualBox by itself, I see this VirtualBox Manager. And so here is the XP reNOVAte Unlocker is the system that we're running here. And if I just click on highlight it here and click on Settings, I should be able to go to Shared Folders. Oh yes, right there it says Shared Folders. So what if I add a shared folder? And so the folder path and folder name, that's the location, but this is not quite intuitive for me. Okay, so it should be any file on local, and even though I didn't see any drop-down box that showed me a file directory structure that I expect on my local machine, when I actually pasted in a path here, it recognized that. And so all I did was here in this folder, I don't think it has to be in this folder, I just put it there to keep everything together. I created a new folder called Shared Folders, and then I specified that path in here. Okay, now if I read correctly, when we boot the machine, shared folders should actually show up as a shared network of sorts. So let's see if that is the case. Well, that's a much better desktop. I certainly like that. I think the low level is just fine. Alright, so this has changed. We'll fix this. We'll put these at the top of the hill here on the Windows XP default desktop. These can go down here. Yeah, we'll put Chrome up here in the sky. Very nice. So let's go to Windows Explorer. And we're going to go to not my network places, but my computer. And I see that VirtualBox Guest Editions is supposedly the CD and the D drive. But now we have E, shared folders, on VBox SRV. And so here's the files that on my local operating system I have put in the shared folders right there. Just like that. And so I wonder if I were to add a new file, if that were to if that would work as well. So why don't I drag over another file from, oh, there's so much. How about the .4 computer user manual? That sounds like fun. So in my local Windows operating system, I'm just going to copy that. All right, great. And so now that it's there, I wonder if I simply do a refresh. Look away and oh, yep, I do a refresh and there it is. Now this Windows XP operating system, I don't even have Adobe installed, so it doesn't know how to open a PDF, obviously, but that's okay. The point is, now that you found this underneath my computer, not VirtualBox, but shared folders, you should find that here. Now, I should point out that I think you're going to need to set up your own shared folder here in settings, right? So if you were to set up because this is something that's on my desktop, it's not going to be on your desktop. So you would probably need to set up your own there. And I wonder if, when you install it, if you're going to get an error because you don't have that shared folder. If you do, hopefully that's not going to be too much of a problem. But just go through the same process that I showed, where you want to specify a folder path, and even though the drop-down menu doesn't really work all that well, you'll have that. And I checked Make Permanent and Auto Mount. I did check those. I don't know if it was necessary, but it's one of the things that I did to get this to work. So that's what you have. So I suppose I could add a new folder and that would show up there. I'm not going to go through that process because I've proven it works once, and hopefully this will be fairly straightforward. So now, instead of using a cloud-based solution and going through a browser, you can use this as a shared folder to get files back and forth. There it is. I just drug that to the desktop. Isn't that great? And did I put that in here already for you? I think I did. Yes, I already did put that in there. So I don't need to keep that. I can drag that over to the recycle bin, and that's where it'll be. Okay, well, please do enjoy playing with reNOVAte, the demo version, and thanks for everything you're doing. This is a lot of fun.